Okay, cool. You should be seeing me. I can definitely see you. If you've got your webcams on, please have them on. If you're excited and ready to hit the ground running, just type yes in the comments here. I like to make this as interactive as possible. So just give me a yes in the comments. All right, I got a lot of yeses coming in. Fantastic. Hex says yes, says Kristen, amazing. Okay, before we get started, one thing I'd love to have you guys do, because it just helps to make the session all that much more interactive, is if you could rename yourself. There's a spot where if you hover your name, you look at the list of attendees over on the corner. If you hover over your name and you just hit edit name, you can change it from just your name to your name dash your company name. So in my case, I would say Josh Nelson dash seven figure agency. So if you could all just do that real quick, that way I can be looking at you and I have an idea what company you're here with, what your agency is all about. That helps to make these sessions even more interactive. If you could also have your webcams on, a lot of you guys, Josh, John Hollins, Guy Pena, Matt Price, Ashton Saunders, thank you guys. Love having the webcams on, love making this as interactive as possible. And we got people coming in, so we'll make sure, team, that we continue to admit everybody as they get into the waiting room. Okay, so as we get started, I want to launch a couple polls. I want to get you thinking a little bit. We're going to be using this time that we have together to look back over 2023 a little bit, and then really look forwards to 2024. Make sure you've got a clear plan with clear goals, clear KPIs, and more importantly, the actual action plan, a proven action plan of the things you can do and at what frequency you're going to do them to actually get the outcomes that you're after. So first poll, if we could put this up, Justin Littles. How was 2023? If you think back on 2023, how was it? Poll's going to come up right now. It'll ask you to kind of share your feedback, and then we'll kind of see what the general consensus in the room is in terms of how 2023 was. And it's important to kind of think back and reflect, and we'll do a little bit more of that exercise. Type yes in the comments if you're seeing that poll. If you're seeing the poll come up, yes. Okay, cool. Everybody answer the poll question there. While everybody's getting logged in, welcome for those of you coming in. Glad to have you here. Really, really pumped for today's session. I know it's going to be a game changer for you guys. All right, 5 seconds left. Answer the poll. How was 2024? And then Justin, hit the launch results, and we can all see how everybody did 2023-wise. Outstanding. And then let me know in the comments for those of you that already answered the poll, if you had to rate it on a scale from 1 to 10, what was your number? Just drop that in one more time here in the comments. If you happen to be watching this after the fact, do this as a mental exercise. Ooh, Kirk's got a 1, Guy's got a 7. I see some 7s, I see some 8s. Fantastic. Okay, cool. Regardless if it was a slam dunk and you feel like, man, it was just such a great year, or if there was room for improvement, the great thing about a new year is it gives you the opportunity to reset goals, reset targets, get yourself re-inspired, and hit the ground running. Next poll, I'd love to get your feedback on this, is what type of agency do you run? Are you full service? Are you a generalist agency? I mean, like a SEO agency? Are you a PPC agency? Are you a Facebook social media agency? What type of agency do you run? Answer that in the poll, and then put it in the comments as well. It just helps see it in both places. I'm not seeing the answers to the polls the way we have it structured. Justin Littles, are you able to launch that poll?
Yes, it's launched.
Excellent. All right, so we got full service, excellent. PPC. Full service, excellent. Okay, so we got a mix. I see some SEO agencies, some PPC agencies. Full service, that's my preference, right? You'd come in and you'd focus on a vertical, and then you build a complete solution that includes like SEO and pay-per-click and social media. That way you can generate a blended result for the clients and really generate great outcomes. Okay, so let's get right into it. Again, so glad to have you guys here. Really excited about what we're going to do. My promise for you today is I'm going to share a plan that, if followed, will help you accelerate to 7 figures over the next 12 to 24 months. Or if you're already at 7 figures, which I know some of you guys are, build a plan to add an additional 7 figures in revenue. And we're going to give you the exact plan with the exact process and structure to bring that into reality. If that feels like a good outcome to you, and you'll be like, you know what, this was a good, hour, 90 minutes of my time or 2 hours of my time, give me a yes in the comments. If this feels like that, would love to have this happen during this time we spend together. All right, good. Lots of yeses coming in, and please, webcams on, be interactive with me. The more you interact, the more feedback I can get. And I guess I just want to make sure you're clear that what I'm going to be showing you isn't based on theory. Like, I literally grew my agency to 7 figures in our first 2 years in business. We did $5 million last year. We do over $390,000 in monthly recurring revenue serving the plumbing and HVAC space. But what I'm sharing isn't also just based on my experience. At this point, we've had over 100 digital marketing agencies follow this process, implement this planning procedure, and do these work that I'm going to share with you guys that have grown to 7 figures and beyond. And just a couple of them that, if it's okay, I'll kind of share some of their case studies and examples as we go. Jim Moline from Roofer Marketers grew to over $250,000 in monthly recurring revenue and sold the agency. Austin Hauser grew to over $93,000 last year. Around this time, he was in this planning process, setting goals and targets for the year. He was just getting started. He actually had a negative balance in terms of debt. And now he's doing over $92,000 in monthly recurring revenue, serving the painting contractors of America, right? Just serving that particular niche. Kelsey and Jen Outram work with auto repair shops, and I can share example after example after example. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but is it okay with you guys if, as we go, I share some of these stories? That way you're building the plan, but you're also building the confidence that this stuff works. And if you can stick to it and you actually do the work, you can get the outcomes that you're after. Just type in examples in the comments if you're okay with me sharing examples and making this super practical and super relevant in today's environment. Fantastic. Seeing lots of examples. And so I'm doing this as part of the 7-figure agency community. You're here as my invited guest to check this out and to really build your plan for 2024. Some of you guys hopefully have read the 7-figure agency roadmap. Just give me a book in the comments if you've either read this book or maybe skimmed through some of it at some point. All right, some of you guys have the book. And then my second book, which we launched a little bit after that, was the Client Retention Handbook, which is really the book around how to retain your clients. After you get them, how do we make sure we actually retain them and keep us with us long term? Just type retention, maybe if you've received this book or skimmed through it. All right, good. So some of you guys have kind of been exposed to this. I promise we're going to get into practical application here in just a sec. But, what we do as an organization really is help digital marketing agencies grow and scale. We've given you the playbook, we've given you the insights, but if you want additional coaching, you want additional support, you want to be part of a community of other agencies that are crushing it, we'd love the opportunity to kind of bring you in if it's a good fit for you. And I'll probably talk about that a little bit towards the end of this planning session. But at this point, we've got 269 active members in the 7-figure agency. 106 of them have grown to 7 figures. So they're literally running million-dollar agencies as part of this program. 24 are running multiple 7-figure agencies, which means they're doing over $166,000 in monthly recurring revenue. Average cumulative revenue in the group, average revenue is $71,000 in MRR. And as a whole, the 7-figure agency community produces over $225 million per year. And so I just want to put that out there in advance of this session, in that, yes, you're going to get a plan. Yes, you can do your best to execute the plan, but the best way for you to get the outcome is to plug in and get additional resources, right? To get the support that you need, to plug into a community that's actually doing it and actually getting the results. And so I really want to encourage you to think about that. One of the fastest growing organizations in the world. We came in at 275 on the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies. And our mission as a business here at 7-Figure Agency is to help 500 agencies go to 7 figures over the next 5 years, 7 figures and beyond. Because now we're also building 8-figure agencies at the top of our group. And I really truly believe that you can and will be part of this mission, right? My goal is to see you at that 7-figure, multiple 7-figure level, so that you can make more money, have more freedom, and have a bigger impact. So with that said, let's get to work. Let's get into it. I've got a great workbook, and I want to start off by saying this isn't going to be a teach session. I'm going to share some examples. I'm going to do a little bit of detail. I'm going to open up for questions, but this is more of a workshop style session, which means I'm going to tee up an exercise for you guys, and I want to give you time and energy to work on it. That way you actually get the plan built while we're live. So just type workshop in the comments if you're okay making this a workshop style session where we get the work done and we're not just hearing me talk like theoretically about why to build a plan and the value of a plan. Okay, cool. Key things we're going to do. If we get nothing else done from today's session, the key things I want to make sure we get done is that you've got a very clear goal and target for the year, so that you know for a fact by the end of this year, here's how much recurring revenue we're going to have, here's how many clients we're going to have, and you've got that written down, you've spoken it out into the real world, you've got it present in a place where you're going to track against it. I promise if all we did was this would be a good use of our time. In addition to that, though, I want to make sure we break that down, because I think a lot of people make the mistake when they set goals for the year is they'll just put that goal out into the ether and then they don't ever get it done, or they don't even know if they're on track or off track versus hitting it. So what we're going to do is we're going to break that goal down so that whatever the goal for the year is, we know what that means by the end of each quarter and what that means for January, February, March, April. You've got a clear target that you're shooting for, a clear target that your team can rally around, and a way to track it. And then we're going to reverse engineer some KPIs. So if the goal is to get to $83,000 or $150,000 in monthly recurring revenue by the end of the year, this is how much new clients we have to sell. What are the KPIs that are actually going to bring that as reality? How many appointments? How many emails? How many one-to-ones? Like, what actual KPIs can we track against that we can actually manage on an ongoing basis to help us hit that reality? And we're going to audit the business model, make sure that you've got the right model to build on. You know, if you don't have the right model, you could be doing all of the right activity, doing all of the right effort, but not get the outcomes that you're after. And then most importantly is we're going to build the plan, right? They say that a goal without a plan is just a dream, right? And if we fail the plan, then we're planning to fail. And so kudos to you guys for being on this session and plugging into this planning process. But we also want to make sure we've got a clear plan and we calendarize it, right? Because if we don't have it calendarized, it isn't going to get done. So with that said, really the ultimate goal is to help you set you up to crush it in 2024 and beyond. So again, this is the agenda. This is what we're going to cover. It's going to be very workshop style. Just give me one more time in the comments, like an all caps yes, if this sounds good and this is what you signed up for and this is why you're here today. Just so I can make sure we're hitting the right stuff. Okay, fantastic. So here's what I want to do next. I want us to all pull up the planning workbook. This is a Google Doc. And so on this Google Doc, when you click the link, it's going to make a copy inside your Google Drive. And we're going to work through this together as a group. We're going to answer questions as we go. And so team, if you could drop this, Jeremy or Esteban or somebody on our team, drop the link in there, sevenfigureagency.com/growth-plan-workbook. Excellent. And so I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see it. And then we're going to get right into it. So what should happen is when you click that link, it's going to ask if you want to make a copy. Everybody pull that up, get it ready to roll. And I see a bunch of people. It looks like you're getting to the doc itself, which is fine. Just make sure that once you've got it open, you go File, Make a Copy. I thought I had the link set up where it would automatically make a copy, but maybe it's going straight to the doc. All right. Just type open in the comments once you have it open. That way I know, yeah, it made a copy. Okay, it made you make a copy. Okay, cool. I don't know why I'm seeing people in there, which it's fine. But just make sure that you're not going to be able to edit my version. I want you to make a copy, and I want you to make this your own. All right, it looks like most of you are opening this. I just want to make sure you get it open because this is what we're going to be doing today. So if you don't get this document open, we're not going to get anything done. Perfect. All right. Okay, cool. I think we all have this open. I'm going to drop the link in here one more time in case we might have missed anybody. Oops. All right, and once you have it open, what I want you to do is just go File, make File Rename, or kind of click up here at the top, and you can rename it. So 2024 Agency Growth Plan dash, and then name it, your company. That way, as you try to reference this throughout the year, this is your document. You've got it in your Google Drive, and we can all build on this together. Unable to open. All right, so make sure you're on Google Drive. You need to be on Google Drive in order for this to open. Again, if you click the link, which I'm doing right now, it should bring up a screen like this, says make a copy. You click make copy, and you should get a document like this. I want you to click on the top right-hand corner, rename it with your company name in there, and then let's get to work. And if you have a question, feel free to post it in the chat here and/or reach directly out to Esteban on my team or Henry or Jeremy, and they will help make sure you get the right link and you get it opened up. Okay, here's first things first. As we start to look forward to 2024, we need to spend a little bit of time reflecting on 2023. And I just want you, I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds. As you think back on 2023, what are you most proud of? What is it that you accomplished that you feel good about? Maybe you hit a certain monthly recurring revenue target. Maybe you launched something that you're proud of. Maybe you finally chose the niche, or maybe you published a book, or maybe you published a podcast. In a couple minutes here, just write down what your biggest wins are, what your biggest accomplishments are, what the things are that you're most proud of. And I want you to do this in your workbooks, just rapid fire, biggest wins. And again, this is on your workbook. It's the first thing we're reflecting on the year and what were the biggest wins. And as you're writing those biggest wins in, share with me one that you're really proud of in the chat. Let me know in the chat, what is the big win that you're just really, really proud of? Olivia figured out my niche and now launching. Very exciting, Olivia. DJ integrated a CRM. Fantastic. Carl had his first six-figure week. Fantastic. Tom published an ebook. Chris is just getting started. Yeah. Tracy, growth and niche centric. With jobs starting out with 12K in MRR. Fantastic. That's a great start, right? Hired the first employee, says Jay. Quit my day job. Now running a full-time agency. Massive outcome. Fantastic. Congratulations. Signed a new SEO client. Okay, good. Fantastic. Thank you guys for playing along. If you logged in late and you need the workbook, just let us know. Really important. It's good to think back on the year in a positive state. Regardless of how good or bad the year is, there's things to celebrate. And there's things that you did accomplish. So I want to make sure that you get those in. Next thing I want you to do is, as you think about the year, ideally you set some goals for 2023. Ideally, when the year started, you set out and said, hey, we're here. This is where we want to be. Hopefully you tracked that. I just want you to just take a minute and check in. How did you do? Did you exceed the target or did you miss the target? So just kind of gut check yourself. I'm going to give you 30 seconds here, reflecting on the year. Did you hit the goal or did you miss the goal? Right? And it's important because if you hit it, that's fantastic. We want to celebrate that. We want to make sure and figure out what we did so we can replicate it and continue to have that momentum. If we didn't hit it, we need to make sure we recognize that as well. Because if you don't have some accountability behind your goals, it starts to feel like a waste of time, like a wasted effort. So hopefully you guys are writing that in on your workbook. And then let me know in the comments. And the comment could be as simple as exceeded target, hit target, or missed it, right? So Sophia totally missed it. And that's okay, right? Sometimes we miss the goal, right? And that's awareness precedes change. Tom hit the target just barely, right? That's awesome. That means you set a goal and you actually got there. Kudos to you. Let's see, truly wow, exceeded. DJ hit the target. Daniel missed it. Okay, good. You guys are doing this exercise, right? And you're kind of entering it in. You're kind of making sure you're thinking this through. Fantastic. We missed it a little bit. Sometimes we miss it, and it was just a little bit, but we had massive momentum. And so it's still something to celebrate. Okay, fantastic. Appreciate you guys engaging on this. Appreciate you sharing. Hopefully this is a powerful thought exercise to kind of make sure we're taking away the lessons and the learnings from 2023. Next thing I want you to think about is what was the biggest lesson? And mistakes, failures, if we don't learn from them, we're destined to repeat them, right? And so ideally, there were some powerful learnings that came away. from 2023. I just want you to spend a minute or two here in this box. What were the biggest lessons for the year? Maybe you discovered something that worked really well, and that's a great lesson we want to make sure we carry forward. Maybe we tried something and it didn't work and it failed catastrophically. Write that down. Make sure you anchor in those learnings, right? Make sure we take that stuff so we can get better going into next year, and so that we can capitalize on the lessons that we've learned. Put those in the biggest lessons box, and then if you've got a big lesson, drop that for me in the chat. Chris says, inconsistent with cold calling, need consistency. Mike says, will there be a replay? Yes. I'll make sure you guys get it. Hopefully, if the recording worked correctly, focusing on the things that matter. Watching the team in finances. Yeah, that could be a big lesson. Maybe you built the 7 figures, but you were so focused on revenue that you didn't manage the profitability. And so making sure we don't repeat that mistake and really grow within the constraint of a healthy profit margin. Actually missed the target because of learning a lot of new things this year. Okay, good. We've anchored in some of the learnings. We've anchored in some of the lessons that we can take away. I want you to write down, what will you celebrate? In that bottom box, again, we talked about some of our biggest wins. We thought about some of our accomplishments. I believe that you get more of what you celebrate, right? And so if you don't take the time to celebrate whatever the small, medium, or big accomplishments you have, they're not going to continue to flow into your life. And so what do you do to celebrate? Maybe you go to a nice vacation. Maybe you're going to buy yourself something nice. Maybe you do something for your spouse or significant other. What will you celebrate? I just want you to recognize 2024 had accomplishments. And if you don't anchor that stuff in, if you don't celebrate it, it's not going to continue. It's not going to come back to you. All right. Getting my first client was a big deal. Fantastic. Congratulations. Hopefully we're writing down some stuff we're going to do to celebrate. Okay, cool. Hopefully we took some time and we've reflected on the previous year, which is a powerful exercise. I want to start thinking about now 2024 and what we're going to accomplish and what we're going to build and where we're going to go. And we're going to set those goals and those targets. I really believe to accomplish that, we need to have a solid foundation. We want to make sure that we're building on the right model. And so I'm going to spend 2 seconds, or maybe a little bit longer. I'm going to walk you through the 7-figure agency model in Cliff Notes version, and just make sure that you kind of can audit your model to make sure you're set up for success. And so really, if we want to build an agency that can scale in 2024, we want to make sure that it's one that provides money to pay the bills, to live our desired lifestyle, that gives us freedom and flexibility to do what we want to do. We're not tethered to working 60 hours a week. And we also want to make sure that we're having an impact, right? That the work we're doing is impacting our clients. Our clients are growing. The work we do is impacting our team, and our team's expanding, and they're developing their skills. And so in order to build an agency and make sure that your agency is built to scale, we have to do 3 things. We have to land clients. We got to have that process to get clients coming in on a consistent basis. We have to deliver world-class results in a scalable way. We have to really knock it out of the park for our clients, but in a way that doesn't require us to do it all. And then we also have to make sure that we retain the clients that we get, that they actually stick with us. Otherwise, we're taking 1 step forward, 1 step back. And so there's this constant balance on each of these main focus areas. So to land clients, 3 things we need to put in place. We need to make sure we've got installed in our business. Number 1 is we have to have our funnel filled, right? We have to have prospects coming into our world on a consistent basis, raising their hand, expressing some level of interest. We got to make sure we fill the funnel. Number 2 is we have to build authority, right? We have to make sure we're positioned in a way that the clients or prospects come to us and they believe, look, they know what they're doing. They've got proven results. They can help me get the goals that I'm after. And there's very specific things we can do with content, with publishing, with industry affiliations to build our authority. And when we do, it results in more clients coming to us pre-positioned to buy without this hard sell that usually ensues. And then number 3, we have to have a nice tight sales process. We got to make sure we can take a prospect from interested to signed on the dotted line, right? We have to dial in that consultative sales process and the due diligence that we do so that we can consistently land new clients. And when we've got a full funnel and we've got authority in the industry that we serve and a nice tight sales process, we will be landing clients on a consistent basis, and the money will take care of itself. So when you get that dialed in, you'll have a consistent flow of money and have more than enough money you need to live your desired lifestyle, to build your team, to do the things you really want to do throughout the year. The next thing we have to do is we have to deliver results, right? And we want to make sure that we do it in a scalable way. So first thing we have to do is we got to make sure we choose our model, right? Running an agency, there's lots of different ways you could run the business. You could do a la carte work, you could do custom projects, you could do like complete packages. You want to make sure that you've got a model that will be scalable, where the revenue continues to grow and it also works for you as the owner of the business. Number two is we've got to systematize. We're going to make sure that we've thought in advance. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what the program includes. Here's the steps to deliver this for our clients. And here's how it's going to get done in terms of playbooks or SOPs. We have to systematize the deliverables so it can get done consistently and well. It doesn't require us to physically do it. And then number three is we have to build the team, right? Growing to 7 figures and multiple 7 figures isn't going to happen just by you doing it all yourself, right? Especially if one of the outcomes is we want to have more freedom in the business. So you've got to get good at hiring, onboarding, training, and managing, and kind of putting that team in place. And if you deliver results in that way, where it's systematized, where you've got the team, that's how you can create the freedom, right? And at the end of the day, none of us really started our businesses just so we could make more money. Usually we started the business because we wanted to have more freedom. Type freedom in comments if that's you. Like, yes, you want to have lots of money, but you also want to be free to take the travels, to spend the time with the family, to do the things you really, really want to do. Yeah, absolutely. And then from there, number three is we've got to retain long-term, right? We actually have to keep the clients with us. Otherwise, we're taking one step forward and one step back. And so Alex says freedom. Yeah, I love that, from Braveheart. Okay. So if we're going to retain long-term, three things we got to really do. Number one, we have to have world-class onboarding, which means we have to actually come out of the gates nice with our clients. We have to get the usernames, the passwords, welcome with a bang. Your onboarding will really dictate whether the client's with you a year or multiple years down the track. Really important to dial in that onboarding. We've got to figure out our communication rhythm, which is, what do we report to the client? What does our meeting ritual look like? How are we seeing the vision in terms of why they're going to stay with us after the first month, after the first 6 months, after the first year, right? We got to dial in that communication rhythm. And then number three is we have to build a client success management process, which is, as you get beyond 15 clients, beyond 30 clients, you can't be the person selling the client, delivering the work, and then managing the client relationships, right? You have to put an account management team in place. More importantly, you have to build an account management process where you can hire new account managers, get them trained up, and remove yourself from that particular aspect in the business. I really think as you look to scale the business, first thing you got to remove yourself from is the doing of the work, the operations and the operations management. Second thing you need to remove yourself from is the account management process, where you're actually talking to the clients and being that central point of contact. And then third, you want to remove yourself from the sales, right? Where clients are coming in, they're being delivered and they're being served. And that's truly where you get to a scaled digital marketing agency. And so in a nutshell, that's the model, right? We want to land clients, deliver results, retain long-term so we can make more money, have more freedom, and have a bigger impact. And so in your workbook there, I did have a place for this, a place for your model. And I just want you to reflect, like, what is it that you need the most focus on in 2024? Maybe it's all of it. Maybe it's the landing clients piece. You're just not consistently landing clients. Maybe it's the retention piece. You're landing clients, but they're coming out almost as quickly as they're going. Let me know in the comments here, what is it for you on that model that you need to focus on the most going into 2024? Type it in. Landing clients, says Tom. Landing clients. Let's, we got some of it. We got to land some clients. Let's see. And a lot of the plan is going to be focused around landing clients. All of it. Okay, good. Fantastic. So awareness precedes change. That's why I wanted a big picture talk about the model, because for me, when I didn't have the right model, I was struggling and my business didn't succeed. And I was working 60-hour weeks without making any money. When I had the right model, everything became so much more effective. So Cliff Notes version here on the actual business model fundamentals. What we found has worked best for us and the other digital marketing agencies in seven-figure agencies that have gone to seven figures and beyond. Number one is being in one particular niche, right? Rather than trying to serve everybody, when you choose a niche, plumbing, roofing, AC, painting contractors, you can develop a program that's systematized, that has outcomes that you can expect. You can go deep in terms of positioning yourself as the expert in that space and deliver and have validated results for other companies in that space that you've generated results for. And so number one is you're kind of auditing and thinking through this model. Are you focused on a niche or are you generalist? Super important. Number two, in terms of just making sure your model's right and easy to scale, is making sure you're selling a recurring based package. Some people refer to this as retainers. Ultimately, we just want to make sure what we're selling, we get paid on every single month. No project work, no one-off stuff. We're going to sell a $1,500, $2,500, $3,000 a month program where we get paid month in and month out until they say, hey, you know what, this isn't working, or until they cancel. So no project work, no check payments, all automatic debit or automatic credit card or automatic ACH, no partial deposits. And then the minimum needs to be at least $1,000 per month, right? If you're going to be building a website and doing SEO and running paid search and have a comprehensive service that you bring to the table, no reason you can't charge $2,500 to $5,000 per month in any vertical, whether it's plumbing or roofing or dentists or chiropractors. There's plenty of businesses in those spaces, if you know what you're doing, that they'll happily pay that fee. And so, again, I don't want this to be a long teach session. I just wanted to make sure, as you think about the model, is this how you're operating, or are you making it harder for yourself than it needs to be? So just a couple seconds here, audit the model, get clear on a couple things you might need to change. I'm going to tee up one example video here of one of the members that was in this planning process a year ago and has scaled the business exponentially, and that's Austin Hauser from Base Coat Marketing. He works with painting contractors. Let's hear from Austin. Actually, let me reshare the screen here with sound enabled. All right, and this is very short, so we'll get right into it.
Is Austin Hauser, and I run Base Coat Marketing. Before seven-figure agency, I was negative $2,000 a month in MRR. So before the seven-figure agency, we had no vision, no direction. We had a goal, but no idea how to get to that goal. So the seven-figure agency has really provided us with the means, the drive, and the motivation to reach our goals effectively and quick. Today, we are at $92,000 a month in MRR, and we achieved that over the last more or less 11 months. Today, life is very different for myself and our agency. We have a clear direction. We know exactly where we are today, where we're going to be a year from now, 3 years, 5 years from now. I cannot stress enough how vital the seven-figure agency has been to our success. A few things that we have implemented since joining the seven-figure agency has been EOS. It's helped us have a clear vision, accountability with every team member. We now have daily goals, weekly goals, quarterly goals. We also know exactly where we want to be financially, not only myself, but every team member. And not only that, but we can measure our client results. So we have a 100% client retention. I need to knock on wood somewhere after I say that. But we really focus on delivering results for our clients, everything that the seven-figure agency preaches. If you're considering joining a seven-figure agency, I cannot stress this enough. Do it. Invest in yourself. It is my number one point of feedback with anybody that I'm speaking with. The seven-figure agency helps you grow not only your company, but you as a person. I consider a lot of these people in this room behind me family members. I mean, they are people that I talk to daily, weekly. The seven-figure agency has helped get us to where we are today, hands down, period, end stop.
Awesome. So I wanted to share that example because I think that's what I want for you, right? I want you to be from wherever you are. I want you to have accelerated growth. And for him, he went from being a generalist agency with kind of a la carte services to the exact model that I showed, right? Where he's got one niche, painting contractors. He came up with one program where I think it's like $3,000 a month for these painting guys to build their website, to get it ranked, to run paid search, and to generate jobs, right? To generate revenue. He got really focused on the goal and positioning himself as the expert in that painting niche. And accelerated growth. Well, I think at the time of that video it was 92,000. Now I think he's well over 120,000 in monthly recurring. And really that's what I want for you. And that's why I think this planning process is so powerful. So let's get into it now. Let's start to build some of those goals and those targets. Just give me a one if it was valuable to unpack this model and kind of get clarity on what you might need to change in the business model. Just like give me a one in the comments here just so I can get some feedback. All right, sweet. Thanks, guys. Really, really appreciate that feedback. Okay. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna set some goals, and we're gonna make sure we break those goals down by month. We break them down by quarter. I'm gonna give you guys a proprietary approach that I use for this, that I've used for in my agency since the beginning. So first things first, I want you to kind of put down on your worksheet what the current lay of the land is. How many clients do we have today? How much recurring revenue do we have right now? And ideally, this is in a niche, but either way, how many clients, how much recurring revenue? This is the starting point. We're going to get into the worksheets. We're going to map all of this stuff out. Just put this down. I want to make sure you're clear. And if you've got only project work today and there's no recurring, I would put that as a 0, right? If you've only got like hosting services paying you $250 a month, I would put that as 0, right? Because we want recurring revenue greater than $1,000 per month, and that's what we're counting. How many clients paying you more than $1,000 per month? So Olivia's at 0. That's fine. You're at a net 0. That's fine. Let me know in the comments. What's the MRR? Just kind of so I can get some sense. I know some of you guys are 7 figures and multiple 7 figures. Scott, 85K, amazing. So we get a broad spectrum, right? The good thing is this planning process works whether you're at a 0 or you're at 85 or 100,000 or more. Amazing. We're going to get into this process right now, but I want to share an example of this because I think it's really important. The first time I really went through this and built it out for anybody other than myself, I was working with a buddy of mine, Brian Kaskavalcian, which his company is called G4 Marketing. They work with roofing and remodeling companies. And he had grown his agency to about $60,000 a month of recurring revenue. So pretty successful, right? Pretty successful in that space. But he'd been there for going on 5 years. It was just, man, he was good at what he did. He grew to a certain level. And it was like they landed clients every month, but they churned clients every month. And the drive was not there. The momentum wasn't there. And I said, hey, let's sit down and let's create some new goals and some new targets. Let's really map this out. And that's exactly what we're going to do here together. But for him, doing that process was a game changer. After 5 years of stagnation, he went from 60K to over $400,000 in monthly recurring over the last couple of years as a direct impact of this process. And so we're going to get into this, but I just want you to hear the power of this process in advance.
Well, hey, this is Josh Nelson with the 7-Figure Agency, and today I'm with Brian Kaskavalcian from G4 Marketing Group. Runs a highly successful multiple 7-figure digital marketing agency. Brian, if you had one tip on how you were able to grow your agency to multiple 7 figures, what would it be?
So the one tip I'll give you is actually what he gave me. He gave me clarity and he gave me focus. It was that one damn spreadsheet that you gave me that changed everything, because we put out our numbers and we knew month after month, every month, what our target number was in new monthly recurring revenue, and we knew exactly where we were based on our gains and our losses. That one thing that I got from this guy right here is a game changer.
Awesome.
Be clear, be focused.
Great. Brian, thanks for sharing.
And so what's really cool is Brian actually sold G4 Marketing for a multiple 7-figure exit. And this process was super powerful in that process. So give me oh man, Jeremy dropped the fire emoji. Give me a 1 or a fire emoji if you're ready to build this out, right? I want to build this together as a group, because I know sometimes we want to do it, but we don't get to it, or we get stuck and we're unclear. Let's build this out. Let's set the goals. Let's set the targets. Let's break it down. I see some emojis coming in. You guys know how to find the fire emoji. Fantastic. I know I struggled with it. I was like, well, one's easier than a fire, but you guys are crushing it. Okay. So in our workbooks, I've got a link for you guys. This Google Sheet that we're going to track along with. So that's 7figureagency.com/tracking. click the Make Copy button, and you're going to have this worksheet in your folder that now you'll be able to edit and modify. And stick with me, I'm going to walk you through this. So once you get it open, what I want you to do is have me in one tab or in like one window, and then your spreadsheet in another. That way you can see the sheet that I'm working on, and you can see your sheet, right? So it's sevenfigureagency.com/tracking. Just give me like open in the comments if you've got it open. I don't want to run ahead. Oh, okay, fantastic. So we got this open. We've got our snapshot, so we kind of know where we're at, how many clients, how much recurring revenue. The next thing we want to think about, just kind of projecting into the future, where do we want to be? Like over the next 12 months, realistically, where do we want to be? How much recurring revenue? And everything I think of is in terms of monthly recurring revenue. If you're not selling project work and you're only selling recurring, now, so let's say I'm at 90,000, right? And we're much higher than this. So let's just say I was at 90,000. What's my end of year goal? Maybe the goal is to double that to 180, or maybe the goal is to get to 150. I want you to put in that next box, what's the goal? How much recurring revenue realistically do you want to end the year with? And if you're at like less than 7 figures, it needs to be at least 7 figures, right? Because that's the objective. There's no reason all of us can't get to 7 figures or beyond. And if you're at 7 figures, I'd like you to add $1 million. So add at least $83,000 in monthly recurring to that target. So Scott's writing down 150K. All right. So I'm just going to put in here, let's say 150,000. It's from a 90K base. The third column, the third box asks, how much is your fee? So what is it that you charge your client for your package on a monthly basis? And if you've got a couple of variations, like a big and a low, what's the average that a customer buys in at? Is my audio cutting out, guys? Or can you hear me? Could be an internet connection issue on my end or yours. No issues. Okay, cool. I'm just going to keep going. So what's the monthly fee? In our case, at this point, we're charging about $3,000 per month, but our average is $2,700. So I would put $2,700. Maybe for you, it's a little bit lower. Maybe it's $1,000. Maybe it's $2,000. I want you all to be selling a package that's at least $1,000 per month. There's no reason you can't bundle enough value to charge at least $1,000 per month. So put that number in and just give me a one in the comments if you've tracked to that place. You've got where your current MRR is. You've got what your goal is for the end of the year in terms of where you'd like to get. And then you've got your average monthly fee. Okay, cool. This isn't complicated, but I just want to make sure we're all tracking along. The next question, and this is really going to help you map this out and help you kind of figure out how many clients you need on a monthly basis to get there. The next question is, what's your closing percentage? As you meet with a prospect and you offer your service, what are you closing at? And I've heard some people close north of 70%. The average in the industry is 12%. Ideally, if you kind of follow our model, you're in a niche, you position yourself as the expert, you've got some inbound stuff, ideally that should be at least 30%. That's like a good benchmark to shoot for. But if you don't know, like Daniel, in your case, I would put 20%. Let's just put 20% in there. That way you have a target to shoot for. We'll get you guys the replay, no sweat. Give me a number in the comments, guys. Let's just put a number. I'm going to put in here 30% just because I think that's a good benchmark to shoot for. What's your close percentage? Let me know in the comments. Hopefully, we got a couple hundred of you guys on here. We're still tracking along. This is all making sense. I got 25%, 50%, 70%, 20%, 30%. Okay, fantastic. So the gray columns will show you then how many clients you need in order to make that a reality. So if my goal is to go from 90 to 150 at the end of the year, my average client pays me $2,700 and I got a 30% close ratio, I need 23 clients, because 23 clients at $2,700 brings me to $150,000 in monthly recurring revenue. And that's 23 clients over 12 months. I need 2 clients per month. And I'll need about 7 strategy sessions per month to make that a reality. This should be very eye-opening for you. Like, the whole point of this is to set a goal and to come up with the base KPIs, which is how many clients per month, and then How many strategy sessions do we need? That's 23 more on top of the baseline. That's correct. Yes. So it's Chris says it's off. Okay, interesting. Let's see, maybe there's a column error here. It's possible. It should be taking the monthly fee. Maybe the understanding. Yeah. So like, remember what we're doing is we're putting a baseline in, and then we're putting a year-end goal in terms of monthly recurring revenue. And this should tell you how many clients you need in order to get there. Guys, let me know two numbers. I want to know two numbers in the comments. What's the goal by the end of the year? How much in recurring revenue? If you double click on it, you can see that basically what it's doing is it's figuring out, it's rounding up this column minus that column divided by that, which should give you a pretty close target. Oops. Oops. Okay, Scott's is right. All right, so I got 150K, got 360K. Fantastic. And then the other question I want to really know is how many clients per month? How many clients are you going to need per month in order to make that a reality? Let me know in the comments. 3 clients is Kirsten. 12. Okay, good. Do you guys know that my key here is I want you guys to be super clear. Here's how much recurring by the end of the year. Here's how many clients I need per month to make that a reality. And then how many strategy sessions, according to this sheet, according to your close ratio, how many strategy sessions do you need per month in order to make that a reality? Let me know that in the comments. This will help you know what you're shooting for, right? This is the actual KPI that matters. Most agencies don't get enough strategy sessions, hence they don't get enough deal flow, hence they don't hit the goals and the targets for the year. Excellent. I see the numbers coming in still. I'm clear if you're clear with me to this point, and this has been helpful to this point where you're like, okay, I know where I want to go. I know how many clients I'm going to need to get there. Fantastic. Okay, cool. Fantastic. This is great. Next thing I want you to do is kind of hop over to starting point and quarterly targets. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to update some of our main metrics here. So while we did enter this over here, the goal setting sheet was really just to help you get clear on how many clients you need and how many appointments you need per month to make it a reality. In this tab, I want you to overwrite what your starting point is here at the beginning of 2024. How much recurring revenue? So I'm just put in here, let's just say it was starting at 90,000. And let's just say my average monthly fee is 2,700 and my average loss is 2,500. Just put your numbers in. Again, we're coming here to the bottom, which is starting point, and we're updating these 3 cells. And then this number over here, how many clients do we have? Let's just say it's 72. Right? I'm just putting in the starting point numbers, which is these key informational columns right here. The average loss would be, so sometimes a client cancels, but they stay on your SaaS. Like let's say they stay on your high-level sub account, or they stay on your hosting. And so they might cancel the main service, which is 2,500, but they still pay you $200 a month, let's just say. So you would gain clients at 27, but you're losing them at 2,500 on average. If you don't know what the average is, just put, when you lose a client, you're going to lose the same amount as what you sell. In the beginning of this process, that's probably where you're sitting. So 0. No. So actually, I would put it as the exact amount. So let's say I'm selling clients at $2,500 a month, and I don't know. I would put in here 2,500. So when a client leaves, how much money do you lose in recurring revenue? That's really what we're after with that particular cell. This is all going to plot out for you now pretty nicely. Give me a yes if you've got this starting point information in. Hopefully this is clear enough and you guys are able to track along with me. Fantastic. Okay, cool. All right. Now what I want you to do, now that we've got the starting point data in, is jump over to the 2024 sales tracking sheet, and you'll notice it's taking whatever the number of clients you put in and whatever your monthly recurring revenue is, and it's putting it here in this far left column under base clients and recurring revenue. The entire sheet builds off of this. And so you've got a couple columns in here. You've got goals, you've got actual, and then you've got the delta, right? So the actual is going to be throughout the year, you're going to plot in how many clients did you actually sell? How many clients did you actually lose? And then the delta is going to show you for that month, are you on track or are you off track? Just to give you that clarity, what Brian was talking about is the clarity of what's the goal to get to that end result that we're after. And then are we on track? Are we exceeding or are we under, right? This is what world-class organizations do. They've got this stuff very clear. What you measure gets done. What you measure and report on always improves. And so what I want you to do next is on the goal column, all you have to do is put in the number of clients that you're shooting for every month. So if you're consistently landing 5, you can put 5. If you're consistently landing 12, you can put 12. If the goal setting sheet told you you need 6 to hit the goal, then that's the number you're going to use. That's what I want you to put in here on the goal sales column. So let's just say 5, 5. You're just going across the goal column in white at the very top where it says total sales, and you're putting that number in, right? So I'm gonna put 5 for every month. Maybe some of you guys have seasonal businesses where, you know, in January, February, you sell 7 or 8, and then maybe it drops down. So you can kind of override this number throughout the year. So all we're doing is we're going in, we're putting a number in each of these cells, and that should give us our sales target for the year, broken down by month, broken down by quarter. Just type yes if you're clear on this. You're able to do this process. This should be relatively easy, but I know there's times where we get stuck. Olivia says no. Okay, everyone else is saying yes. It came in auto-filled with 4, so you can go in and override that, right? You go in and override it on each one of the columns. Olivia says no, I'm still 0. So your goal then, maybe every month, is to sell 1 per month. So I want you to go and change the 4 to a 1 or a 2 in each one of these. I'm seeing more no's, more yeses than no's, which is a good indication. And if you need more help on this, feel free to tag Justin or Esteban. Otherwise, I think most of us have this and they're tracking along. Now, the next thing you want to consider is that there's going to be some churn, right? Eventually, as you grow and as you scale, there's going to be clients that cancel or they pause or they go away. And so we need a plan for that, especially if you're above $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 already. If you're at 0 right now, don't spend a lot of time focused on the churn. You can just set zeros across the board. If you're above 10,000, I would say you want to set an expectation that you maybe lose 3 to 5% any given month. So in this case, let's just say we've got 72 active clients. So let's just say I've got 72 active clients. I'm going to multiply that by 0.03. That means I'm probably going to lose between 2 and 3 clients every month, assuming I've got a nice tight retention process, right? It's a good target. 3% churn is you're doing well to hit that. Less than 5%, you want to probably tighten some things up. So what I need you to do is figure out what you're going to anticipate churning throughout the course of the year. You put that in total losses under the goal column. If you don't have any clients yet, don't worry about this. Just set this to 0. For those of you that are going to put a churn number in, just give me a yes if this makes sense. We're taking our base number of clients, we're multiplying it by 0.03, and coming up with a projected number of clients that we don't want to exceed losing. I'm seeing lots of yeses, so that makes me feel good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, and so let's just say I've got 72 clients. Even if I churn it at 3%, I would lose 3 clients every month. So I'm just going to put 3 clients in under the goal column. And now you've got a sales and retention tracking sheet that you can use to track against your goals. So just type ready once you've got it plotted out, your retention or your loss anticipation plotted across each of the months. I'm seeing some readies. Fantastic. This is good work, guys. Well done. So lots of readies. This is great. So come over to the far left here. We're still in this sales retention tracking sheet. I want you to scroll down, and then you've got the annual. So under annual, now we've got the goal, we've got the actual, and we've got the delta. Assuming the sheet added everything right, and you've got everything in the right columns, it's going to tell you how many clients you need to sell throughout the course of the year, how many clients you're shooting not to lose more than, so like kind of what the maximum churn is that you're anticipating, how many clients you'll have by the end of the year, and what your MRR will be by the end of the year, right? We said our goal was to get to 150K. So if we sell this many and lose this many, then we'll be at 150,000 in monthly recurring. And based on what our base revenue was at the beginning, we would end the year at $1.4 million in revenue. You're not seeing the graph. So Tracy, if it should be, and it's not a graph, at the very bottom on the far left, if you scroll down, there's an annual, and it kind of is the roll up across the annual. Type annual in the comments if you see that on your sheet. We all should. Awesome. Okay. Fantastic. So now you've got a sales retention tracking sheet that will break down for you what the goal for the year is, what the goal per quarter is, and we're going to play by quarters, 90-day cycles where we say, all right, by the time we get to March, we want to be at 105,000 in monthly recurring revenue with 78 active clients. That's the goal. By the end of January, we want to be at 95, right? And we want to have 74 active clients because we sold 5 and we lost 3. In this particular case, yours is going to be different depending upon what you put in there. Give me a yes if you've got that. I mean, I think most of us have that now. You've got a sales retention tracking sheet for the year. It should properly be calculating kind of what these numbers are. You can look for the year, you can look for the quarter, you can look for the month. So you've already done what most people haven't, is that you've set a goal and you've put it down in a tracking mechanism where you can see and you can track. The example of Brian, he didn't have a goal. Like, he got to 60K in monthly recurring revenue, and it was just kind of like, we're going to go with the flow. When he put this in place and he met with the team and said, hey guys, this is the goal that we're shooting for. And he's bringing together the sales team and the marketing team and the account management team because they're responsible for retaining. And this is a team effort. And then added this to his weekly routine where every week we meet. Hey, how are we doing? How many clients did we lose? How many have we gained? Are we on track? Are we on track? What do we need to do to improve our sales? What do we need to do to keep the things moving? And it totally shifted the momentum within his business. So having it written down is one piece. The other piece is actually using this and tracking against it on a monthly basis. And so the way this works now is every month, or actually every time you get a sale, ideally you're coming in here and saying, okay, we got client 1 and they paid us $5,500, right? That then is going to track that client, and you've got 1 sale and $5,500. You still need 4 more clients, and you still need $7,000 in monthly recurring revenue for the month to be on track in this particular case. And then if we lose a client, let's say we lose 1 client, and you actually put the company name so it's easy to track this across the month, and that client lost $1,500. They were paying us $1,500 and they canceled. Now you can easily see, okay, we were expecting to lose 3, but we're still ahead on that. And you can easily see what the delta is. The delta is the difference between where you are and what the goal is. And you can track across the year as you land clients and as you lose clients. Karen, yeah, you would only add new clients here. If you do a lot of upsells, like let's say you've got clients paying you $5,500 and they're gonna, or they're paying $1,000 a month, and you're going to increase them to $2,000, and you want to track that incremental revenue, you can put that in sales as well. Just in terms of the actual revenue, if that makes sense. Hopefully this is helpful, guys. I mean, this was extremely beneficial for me. It's been extremely beneficial for a lot of the agencies we work with. Just having this framework to track against things can be a game changer because you're clear on where you're headed. You're clear on the activity that's needed to get there. And you've got a tracking mechanism that you can hold yourself accountable to. Awesome worksheet, rocks. Thank you, Steve. So helpful. And a fire emoji. Fantastic. Okay. Will you use this, right? Will you actually use this as a track? Give me a big all caps yes if you'll use this, right? Even if you're on track, fantastic. If you're off track, yes. Okay, fantastic. I'm getting yeses, which means this is good. We're not wasting your time. You're not wasting my time. If you use this, I'm happy. And that's fantastic. Okay. So now what I want you to do is come back to your worksheet, and I want you to put in here the end result, right? So we've got this on the sales retention tracking sheet. I want you to physically write down where you are right now, or kind of where you'll be by the end of the year, how many clients and how much recurring revenue. And then I want you again to go to that final column, and I want you to write in, I'll have, by the end of the year, if I hit my goal, I'm going to have 60 clients and 150K, or whatever that number was in your particular situation. I'm sorry, this was the sales goal. Down here, 96 clients and 150K in MRR by the end of the year. Assuming I can use Zapier to connect into a CRM to track this automatically. You probably could, you'd have to do a lot of Zaps. Most of us do this manually, and it's not that big a deal. And actually taking action on the sales and the retention side is part of what makes it powerful. But I'm sure you could do new sale, Zap to this column. All right. So goal, just like goal in the comments, if you were able to write down the goal now for 2024, confidently year end, assuming we hit these benchmarks in terms of sales and retention, this is the goal. Just type goal in all caps. Okay, cool. Goals are coming in. Fantastic. Okay. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. First step done. We've got a goal. We've broken it down. Next thing I want you to do is just get clear on why this is important. Because having a goal and a number is really not that inspiring. It's not really all of that exciting. It's important that we have it. But I want you to get clear and connect emotionally. Why is your life going to be better once you've achieved this target, right? Like what the difference will be. What will you be able to do? What will you be able to have? What will you be able to experience once this goal is achieved? So project out into 2024. You've actually accomplished whatever that was. How's life better? I want you to document that in your worksheet. How's your life better? Maybe you're able to retire your spouse. Maybe you're able to pay for pay off the debt that you've been dealing with. Maybe you're able to put the kids in a private school. Maybe you're able to give more money to the charity or to the church. What is it for you? Why is life different or better that makes it worth doing the effort that's going to be required to get there? Put that in under this box. Don't skip this part. A lot of us want to be like, you know what? I'm just writing my numbers down. I don't want to think about the why. But the why is what's going to carry you. Type that in comments for me, guys, as you type that in. Why? Why is this important? How will life be different and better once it's achieved? The why gives your goal teeth, right? It makes it worthwhile. Aviv says, so I can breathe, right? So we have enough money to not be stressed out all the time. For some of us, it's getting out of that survival stage in the business. It makes a huge difference. Steven says, what gets measured gets done. Better impact, better life. Exit sales and retire, says Scott. Get really clear on that why. Keep engaging with me, guys. Let's make sure there's a two-way conversation, right? I don't want to just be doing these exercises in a vacuum. Type in the comments for me. Freedom to spend time with the family, new lease on life. Stop using savings, right? You actually live on the money you make and not on the savings that you've saved. Bringing the wife into the agency, that's a great outcome. Pay off some debt. Fantastic. Okay, cool. So we've all written down a why. I'm going to give you guys an exercise. I'm not going to have you do it right now, but I want you guys to do this because this is a powerful process. I'd love for you to record a video for yourself that you are projected into 2024. It's December around this time, but 2024, and you've accomplished everything you set out to for the year. And I want you to record this. You can do this with your phone. You can do this with ScreenFlow or with use Loom. This is for you only. And I want you just to record a video that says, 2024 has been such an amazing year. We did so much hard work, but now we've got $175,000 a month of recurring revenue. We were able to buy, we were able to buy the BMW. We were able to put the kids in school. We were able to give, $20,000 to the church. It's so great. We were able to retire so-and-so. Thank you for the hard work that you did. It's been such an amazing year. When you record a video like that, you're planting that seed into the future. You're giving yourself something to look forward to because it's fun to look at that at the end of the year, and you can call that into existence. I'm not going to have you do it right now, but just give me a 1 in the comments if you record that video once we're done, and kind of create that accountability for yourself. Fantastic. Okay, cool. Next thing I want to make sure you're all super clear on is that KPI, the number of strategy sessions you're going to need in order to hit the target. And if we go back to our worksheet, this we did in the goal setting sheet here, when we filled all of this stuff in, it told us how many strategy sessions we need to hit our target. I mean, it's good to have a goal, it's good to have it written down, but this is really what's going to move the needle, is the number of strategy sessions we get and being clear on how many we need. So I want you to write that down, and I want you to put that in the comments for me. How many strategy sessions, meetings do you need in order to hit that target? All right, good. And I appreciate you typing in. So DJ needs 8, Alec needs 14, Tom needs 15, Kristen needs 12, Cody needs 15, Guy needs 20, Vlad needs 42. Kind of skimming through, there's a lot more than I can read. Okay, this is good. Clarity. This is your number. This is what you're shooting for. If you don't hit your goal, it's probably because you haven't done the activity to create the positioning, to fill the funnel, to get that number of strategy sessions. Or you get so busy serving the clients because you've got this chaotic service offering that you're not able to continue to focus on sales. So you have these ups and downs where, like, some months you hit your sales target, other months you don't, because you're shifting between service and retention and service and retention. So I want you to track this, and we use something called our sales retention tracking sheet. Whether you do this on a whiteboard or whether you do this on a printout, have something where you're tracking against this KPI, right? If you need 15 strategy sessions per month, that means how many do we need per week? And then make sure you write it down. Write down the number of sales. Write down the monthly recurring revenue. When you track and you physically track it, like not on a spreadsheet, but you physically write it, you are more likely to actually bring it into existence. So what you measure gets done and always improves. So that's your KPI board. I think I've got a link in here where you can download this as a PDF. Let's see if that link is working correctly. Perfect. So you can print this out. You can put it on a whiteboard. You can just handwrite it. I mean, for me, for a long time, I would just handwrite this on a board at the beginning of each month. That way I and the sales team were super clear. Here's where we're going. Like, let's go do the work. Let's make this a reality. Okay, so next is we got to build the plan. And really what I'm going to suggest is the plan is focused on building the engine to get that number of strategy sessions per month. Like, the plan we want to focus on is, let's build our plan to get 17 strategy sessions per month so that we can get our 4 clients per month so that we can hit that goal and that target for the year. And we've got this thing that we call the growth system. I'm going to see if I can pull it up on my board behind me. Got a lot of slides, but let me see if I can pull this up. Type plan in the comments if you're ready to build a plan, and really make sure we're not just talking about a dream here, but we've actually got a plan to bring us into reality. That plan. Okay, sweet. All right, so this is the growth system. And this has been engineered out of years and years and years of growing my agency and studying the agencies that we work with that get the outcomes, that get the goals that they're after. And really it breaks down in terms of, like, what do we need to do to fill the funnel? What do we need to do to make sure we land the clients? And then what do we need to do to make sure we retain, right? Because if all we do is sell, but we don't retain, we're not getting anywhere, right? We're just losing clients as fast as we gain them. On a daily basis, I think there's 3 things we should be doing. I've updated this in your workbook. Number 1 is cold outreach, and lots of ways to land clients, but we need to have a list of prospects, names, emails, phone numbers that we're reaching out to on a daily basis. And shouldn't be you. Should be you or a marketing assistant or automations running where every day new prospects are being introduced to our value and entering our world. So we can make an offer and then we can build value and add them to a long-term nurture process. Also on a daily basis, we should be running Facebook ads, right? If you're going to run the model, which I suggest, we want to have a targeted niche, plumbing companies, roofing companies, whatever it is for you. That audience can be targeted on Facebook. They can be targeted on Instagram. And so we should be out in front of that audience where they're seeing us on a daily basis. And we're getting eyeballs that are bringing people into our funnel and ideally scheduling in for our services. And the other thing we should be doing is we should be creating content. There's a thing we've got called the content engine that shows you how to create a month of content in a couple of days throughout the week. And you're constantly putting new content that's being found on YouTube, on Instagram, on the various social platforms. So your prospects see you, they see your values, they see what you're about, and we can get people to come into our world pre-positioned to buy. And so we want to have this stuff running daily, ideally without you personally having to do it, right? If you're the one making 100 calls a day, or you're the one, doing all of it yourself, it's going to be really hard to keep that momentum up. Monthly, there's a couple things we want to make sure we do monthly that will position us as the go-to expert and that will get clients coming to us pre-positioned to buy. And they kind of layer right on top of the things we do daily. Because if we've got a list of prospects that we are cold outreaching to, we've got an audience on Facebook, on Instagram, maybe even on TikTok, then this monthly process nurtures that database. It gives them value and it gets them to raise their hand and say, yes, I'm in. And so on a monthly basis, we do one webinar, a topical webinar specific to the industry. We call this the monthly webinar method. You see me do it in plumbing and HVAC SEO every month. There's a new webinar that I conduct. And the way that I do it is I'm able to email a couple times. Hey, on Thursday at 3 o'clock, I'm going to teach you how to get ranked for the most important plumbing keywords. And then the next month, hey, I'm going to show you how to set up your plumbing website to make sure it's built to convert. Right now, I just rotate topics. But because I do it monthly, I can send a couple of emails. I can show up and create content. I can take that content and send it as a replay. I can load it on YouTube. I can load it on a podcast. I can chop it up into bite-sized videos. And just doing that once a month, it makes me prolific in the industry. It gets clients coming to me pre-positioned to buy. The other thing I do monthly is a client success podcast where I'll take a client and I'll interview them on where they were when we started working together, where they are today, how they're generating leads, how many trucks they are, how many leads they're generating. Very simple. It's just a Zoom meeting, two-way, a couple questions, gets loaded up, sent out, syndicated. But that podcast positions us not just as a thought leader, but as somebody that works with people in the industry and generates tangible results. And so lots of moving parts, but the reality is if you can do just those two things consistently and well, you'll be one of the top, if not the top person within your niche in less than a couple of months. Type monthly if you can do these activities monthly. We're talking about one webinar and one podcast, right? We should all be able to do this. And when we syndicate them, that's where the power goes, because then you've got a tail behind that content that lives into perpetuity, that brings people in over time. John says I can do it all. Absolutely. Okay. And then quarterly. Things we want to make sure we're doing quarterly. And this requires you to get out from behind your desk and get out into the real world. In your niche, your prospects are gathering. Like in every vertical across the country, there's a national event, there's a quarterly event, there's localized events. What I want you to do is find out where those events are happening within your niche and get there live. Ideally, get there with a booth. Where you spend a couple grand, you got a booth, and you're there talking to people. Ideally, looking for speaking opportunities. Hey, I'd love to come do a workshop on one of the things I've got in my bag of tricks from my webinars where I can educate your group. When you're live and in person and you're speaking at the front of the stage, you're going to be positioned. You're going to get clients coming to you. And when you combine this activity, the cold outreach stuff and the omnipresent stuff with live experience where they're seeing you in person, that generates great results. So we want to look for those events, and at least once per quarter. If you can do more power to you. But at least once a quarter, try and find a live experience in your industry that you can plug into. That way you can be an insider within the industry. And then once a month, you want to craft a case study. And by that, I mean, it's every client we get, we want to make sure we're crushing it for that client. And anybody can talk about SEO and pay-per-click and social media and say how good they are, but something different when you're able to show, here's the client, here's the results, here's what we're doing. It creates proven results in the industry. And so at least once per quarter, we want to be creating a case study that we can load up, that we can email out, and that we can put on all of the different places. So that's what we want to be doing quarterly. Give me a one if this helps. Like this is what we're going to be doing daily, monthly, quarterly. There's not a million things. There's just a handful of things done in this order will absolutely position you. Okay, cool. Lots of ones, lots of very clears. And again, the goal here with all of this is to fill the funnel to the tune, I don't know if you can see this, 15 or more strategy sessions per month. For some of us, that number comes back as 7. For some of us, it came back as 12. For some of us, it came back as 50, right? But this funnel process should be able to get you those 15 strategy sessions per month, right? And then we want to make sure we've got a great process to get people to show up for a sales call, to come pre-positioned to buy, and to say yes, right? And so we've got a thing called the Ultimate Agency Funnel that is really just an appointment funnel where somebody can schedule in, they can get warmed up, they can get excited about your value in advance, and actually show up to the meeting, right? We want people to show up excited, pre-positioned to buy. And then we have to have a nice tight sales process, which in a Cliff Notes version is you start with getting to know them, their goals, where they're stuck, and then you transition to showing them, hey, look, we did some due diligence. Here's what's missing. Here's where we think there's room for improvement. Get buy-in. And then you move to show them, hey, look, here's what we've done for some other clients. Here's what I think you need and what we can do. And here's how much it costs, right? When you do it this way, you should be able to close 30% or more. And that's the KPI we're shooting for in terms of landing clients in our sales process, a 30% or higher close ratio. And when you do it this way, you can absolutely get that. And then we have to retain, right? If we don't retain the clients, none of this stuff works. We just wind up chasing our tail. And so we've got to make sure we have world-class onboarding with the way we communicate, with the gifts we drop in the mail, with that initial process, the wins we generate in the first couple of months. Dial in that communication rhythm, which we talked about earlier, going through on a monthly basis, showing the key information, keeping them excited, keeping them engaged. And we've got that account manager advantage where we're placing account managers as the company grows, where we're not the bottleneck in the organization, and we shoot to retain at 97%. Right? If we do this, 15 strategy sessions per month, 30% close ratio, and retain at 97%, there's absolutely no question you're going to get to $1 million or more in the next 12 to 24 months, where you'll be able to add that additional $1 million on top. So this is the growth system. You know, there's lots of shiny objects. There's lots of sexy new things you can do to market your agency. But if you do this consistently and well, you will absolutely be able to hit your growth targets and get to where you're headed here in 2024. I'm going to go back to my screen, kind of go back to the workbook, and let's make this practical, right? The whole idea is to give you the ideas and actually give you the actions, give you the next steps, help you implement this in the real world. So I just want you to think, Big Rock-wise, like what are the industry events and association meetings that are happening that you can plug into? And that's, if you scroll down to where it says Big Rocks on your worksheet, and hopefully everyone, just give me a yes if you're tracking along. You're back to your worksheet now, just so I can make sure I haven't lost anybody along the way. Give me a rating on a scale from 1 to 10. 1, this is trash. I wish I hadn't showed up. 10, like this is great. Josh, you're crushing it. All right, good. I appreciate the 10s, a couple 8s. That's fair. Okay, 15, Daniel. Thank you very much. All right, so Big Rocks events. Right? At the beginning of the year, this is the best time to look forward and say, when are these events happening? Right? How can I make sure I don't miss these opportunities to exhibit, to come speak, to come engage? And I just want you to write down in your niche, what are some of those events that you'll plug into? And then the next tab down, and again, some of this you might want to work on more, obviously, after today's session. The next tab down is the monthly webinar. Like I talked about the importance of doing this once a month. One webinar will absolutely position you as the go-to expert. What days of the month will you do this? And I think time blocking is one of the most valuable productivity hacks that there are. And so choose a day of the week that works for you. For me, it's usually the third Thursday of the month at 2 o'clock. Right? For you, it might be the second Wednesday or the first Thursday of every month. just get clear in your head, when will you do these webinars? When you set a date and a time, you put that in your calendar and you know what's going to happen, then you can create the emails and you can create the posts and you can create the content. You can show up and you can just crush it for your clients. So put that into there, and also drop that for me in the comments. What day will you run your monthly webinar? Knowing that maybe at the first, nobody shows up, and that's fine because you're creating content and you're actually touching your database along the way. The last Thursday of each month at 12, second Thursday of the month at 2, second Thursday of the month at 2. Fantastic. This is the work, right? This is getting clear. I know I need to do this, but now it's actually writing it down. And then really what I would encourage you to do is to go into Calendar and make this a repeating event. Like literally go into Google Calendar or Apple Calendar, whatever calendar system you use, and go new event, monthly webinar, every Thursday at 2 o'clock, and set it so it blocks out for the next 12 months. Webinar software that we use, I prefer Zoom. There's lots of ways you can do this. And right now we're doing this through Zoom and Restream. Easiest would be to do a Zoom meeting. And if and when you become members of the 7-Figure Agency, I give you our slides, I give you our promo sequence, I give you all of that stuff to make this very easy so that you can modify it for your niche and you can hit send on the emails and just show up and deliver. But hopefully that answered the question. Zoom meetings is the best. Okay, so the next question is your monthly podcast. We all said, we're going to interview, and this monthly podcast, ideally it's interviewing a client. It could be interviewing somebody just in your niche that's doing really well. A lot of my interviews aren't actually clients. They're just people that are crushing it in the plumbing and HVAC space. It could be an influencer. It could be somebody that's a coach or a consultant specific to the industry. You're just trying to get once a month where you're going to interview someone on Zoom. You're going to ask a series of questions that could be live or it could just be recorded on Zoom, and then you load it up to YouTube, you put it on iTunes, and it will create relationship with the industry. It will create know, like, and trust. And so same thing here. I want you just to write down, like, what day of the month will you do this? If you're going to do the first Thursday of the month for your webinars, then make it maybe the second Wednesday or Thursday of the month, or the second Tuesday of every month where you do an interview. Write this down. Write it down in the comments for me. What day will you conduct these interviews? Nice. Mark says the RepStack webinar was a game changer, just hired a 4th employee for them. Amazing. Yeah, and so as you grow and as you scale, you're going to need team, right? You're going to need to hire people that can step in and do this stuff for you. Or at least in my case, for my monthly webinars, I say, this is the day I'm going to do it. This is the topic I'm going to run. And then my team sets up the promo sequence and they update the slides and they get it ready to roll. So all I have to do is show up, right? So that you can focus on what you do best and not get bogged down into the weeds. Amazing. So we all set up for the webinar process. So the key activities, just thinking about that process, is the monthly webinar method, the monthly podcast interview, industry events and associations that you're going to be speaking at, exhibiting at, and then the content engine. Like, commit to put out new content on your personal profile, on your business page, in the groups within the industry, on Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn. Just one per week will absolutely position you in the industry. And so I did throw this in as a bonus for you guys. Plan out and block out your webinars for the year. If you click on the spreadsheet there, it kind of gives you some topics that you can choose from. As 7-Figure Agency members, we will give you these webinars, the promo sequences of these, and you just, obviously there's work to do to set it up, but it's 10 times less work, right? Because we're going to hand it to you on a silver platter, and you'll have a recording of me doing that webinar that you can use as a point of reference. Give me a yes in the comments if that's helpful to have that little process there. At least you get the topics and you can just plug in the dates and have your webinars pre-planned for the year. This one I gave you a screenshot of. I'm not going to give you our entire content calendar for the year, but we do give our members and our content engine content prompts for the entire year. So it's like, yeah, I should do a video every single week, but I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what topic prompts to do. We give you that, and so that you can just, hey, Monday, I'm going to time block. I'm going to shoot 5 videos. I'm going to shoot them, real quick, either from my phone or from my desk, and then I can have those dripped out throughout the course of the month. So I do want you to think through in advance, ideally, what your topics could be for the year. Because if you're stuck trying to think about, man, I don't know what to post, I don't know when to post, you might not get to it. Alex saying you don't post on the weekends. I mean, I don't post structured content, and I think for different verticals, probably Saturday, Sunday is really good. This is planned out Monday through Friday. But yeah, if your niche is active on those weekends, then absolutely feel free to integrate that into the process. Mike says, as a current member, join. Don't think about it. Got to run a strat. Hey, Mike, thanks for being on here. Appreciate the shout out. Okay, next is learning and development. So we've talked about like kind of the key things you're going to do to keep your calendar full, and kind of the big rocks, the big things you want to focus on. Also, you want to think about your education and how you're going to continue to develop your skills, how you're going to continue to improve. And so I've got a calendar here for you to help kind of map out that stuff. I will say, if you're on here and you're thinking about participating in the seven-figure agency, I will give you an overview of this, and it's completely optional if you want to stick around at the end. But know that we do get together as a group 3 times per year. And those 3 times per year is a great time to mastermind, a great time to get re-energized, a great time to reset goals and targets, a great time to hold yourself accountable. And so I've dropped those dates into the workbook here. That way, if you're over $10,000 a month in recurring revenue, you qualify and you want to be part of it, definitely plan to come into this. I think the members that have gone to 7 figures in seven-figure agency, they're all in, right? They're on the sessions, they're showing up live for these events, and they're taking action every single day. So this is just a placeholder for you to block out that time, block out the learning and development, right? You're only going to be as good as the people you're hanging around with and the information you're filling your mind with. And so you want to make sure that you're continuing to read new books and get new training and keep yourself on the cutting edge so that you can keep yourself moving forward. Also, plan some time for yourself, right? Do not just go into this year all business, all events, all webinars. Like, when are you going to take some fun trips for yourself? When are you going to take some fun trips with your family? We want to make sure to block that stuff out as well. And so I've given you a little bit of a worksheet here in terms of foundationally, what are the things you need to get in place? Do you have a Dream 100 list? Do you have your CRM with the automation set up? Do you have your niche-focused website? Do you have the funnel where somebody can schedule in and get pre-positioned to buy? Have you updated your social profile so that they match the brand and they say, hey, I specialize in helping this industry get this result? Are you doing the advertising work that's going to build your authority to make everything work? Like, are you running Google ads? Do you have your retargeting in place? Are you creating content for SEO? Are you posting on Facebook ads? And do you have that ad strategy running? Do you have some kind of direct mail going out to your Dream 100 prospects? Are you plugged into the industry groups and associations? Lots to think about there. And then, are we doing the ongoing activity where we're daily reaching out, where we're weekly picking cities, where we're monthly doing our webinars and our podcasts? Again, this could be a 3-day workshop. I want to give you guys the 80-20 and the key things you want to focus on. Alec, a move forward conversation is one of the cold outreach strategies we recommend most for agencies that are getting the ball rolling. They don't have consistent flow. The funnel's not there yet. And basically, you're reaching out and cold calling, cold emailing, cold DMing until you get 3 people a day that say, yeah, let's talk. I'm open to having a conversation with you. So 3 people say yes. If you get that done in the first hour of the day, move on to other things. If it takes you the whole day to get there, but you have 3 meaningful move forward conversations per day, your funnel will build. Your following will build. And the webinars and the podcasts and the positioning will even be more effective. Give me a 1 if that answered the question for you, Alec. I think it did. Sweet. So on this, I really want you to be clear. Like, there's lots of moving parts. There's lots of things to put in place. But this growth system makes it practical in that, like, these are the things we need to compartmentalize. And this is how we need to get things done. Dustin says, Josh, you rock. Feels like you're on the other side of the table showing me how to write a business plan. Thank you. This alone was worth so much. Awesome, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Okay. So we've talked about the goal. We've broken it down by quarter. We've broken it down by month. We've kind of mapped out the growth system and the key things we need to do daily, the things we need to do monthly, the things we need to do quarterly. We thought about some of the training and the things we want to do to continue to develop ourselves. And now I want to kind of bring it to actionable next steps and kind of where we go from here, I've got a visual in your workbook there, which it says, day in the life of the entrepreneur. I'm excited. I'm pumped up. And then, oh, this is hard. And then it's working. Yay, I'm on track. And then it's messed up. Give me a yes if this is how you feel some days in your agency. It's just like, man, we're running. And then it's like, oh, man, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do next. Yeah, I got lots of yeses. And me too, right? Even at a $5 million digital marketing agency, every day we go through this cycle of emotions. And as we're on today's session, you're at a high. You're like, hey, you know what? I've got a goal. I've got a target. I feel like Josh gave me this really cool plan that I can follow. But inevitably, come week 1 or week 2 in January, there's going to be a point where you're like, man, I don't remember how to do that webinar. I don't know what to say on that sales call. Or on the hire side of things, I don't know who to hire next, or my operations manager just quit. This is the reality of life as a digital marketing agency owner. And so that's why I don't think just giving you this plan is sufficient, right? That's why I believe you're going to need some additional support. You're going to need a community that you can lean on. And that's why we created the 7-Figure Agency Coaching and Mentorship Program, right? It's because we get the best insights, but you need ongoing support. You need ongoing accountability. You need ongoing inspiration to keep yourself moving and to keep yourself productive, even when things get tough. And so if you guys are open to it, I'd love to kind of talk a little bit about the 7-Figure Agency Coaching and Mentorship Program, who it's for, who it's not for, and you can decide, hey, this is a good fit, awesome. And if it's not, you can take a hard pass. Just give me a 1 in the comments if you're okay, if we kind of talk through this a little bit and kind of share with you what it is, who it's for. Awesome, fantastic. First thing I'm going to say, the 7-Figure Agency Coaching and Mentorship Program is designed for agencies over $10,000 at a minimum, right? Our average member is doing $72,000 per month. So it's not a startup group. And so if you're less than 10,000, what I would say is we have a training called On-Ramp, which is specifically focused around helping you get that first 10 clients and get some of the fundamentals in place. I'm going to go ahead and open up a separate breakout room for you. And I've got Henry in there. If you're less than 10,000 right now, you're like, you know what? I need to get out of the struggle phase of my business. I got to get off the ground. Then that will be a place for you to have a conversation with Henry. Justin, is the breakout room open for that?
Yes, it's open.
Okay, cool. So if that's you, I want you to click the breakout button down there at the bottom, and it should be called, what's the name of the breakout room? Less than 10K. Yeah, just hop in there. And it's been a pleasure speaking with you guys today. Hopefully you got a good plan. That on-ramp will be a great starting point for you. So I see a bunch of you guys hopping in there. That's great. Fantastic. Now, if you're over 10K and you're like, I want to learn about 7-Figure Agency, maybe I want some additional training and support, stay in here. And I will walk you through this and how it works. And if you're not interested at this point in that, that's totally cool. No stress. I'm glad you came today. I'm glad you got the plan. Hopefully you got what you needed. To give like another second, let anybody that's less than 10K, if you want to hop into that other breakout room. So for those of you in the room, just so I know, like I'm talking to the right group, just put in your current MRR into the comments here. Like how much are you doing in monthly recurring today in your agency? Scott, fantastic. 85K is a 7-figure business. Congratulations. 15K, 20K. All right, awesome. 108K. Alec, fantastic, man. Where's that? 10K. 10K. All right, cool. I want to say there are agencies that start 7-figure agency at like 10 to 20K generalist, and they're trying to scale it fast. There's plenty of agencies that have joined the program at 80,000, 100,000 in monthly recurring and have gotten tremendous results, right? Just because you can systematize things, you can put a couple of extra levels on top of what you're already doing. And most importantly, you can plug into a community that's doing this every day. So regardless of how established you are, how kind of low on the path you are, this could be a great fit if it's something you're interested in at this stage in the game. Make sure I'm on the right slide here. So I'm going to skip this because I think it's all right. Cool. So let's get into it. I will make this as painless as possible and no stress one way or the other. what I find is that the agencies in seven-figure agencies, they get the best results. The ones that go to seven figures and multiple seven figures and just continue to grow are willing to pay for speed, right? You know, nothing that we're going to bring to the table is something you couldn't have figured out on your own, right? There's things you can do on your own, but the amount of time and energy it takes to get it off the ground, to get it implemented is really where the rubber meets the road, because your most valuable asset, without question, is your time, right? Your time is the thing that's never coming back. And so the question is, do you want to get to where you're going faster, or do you want to get there eventually? And I know that's a rhetorical question, because the answer is we all want to get there faster. And the agencies that are willing to invest in speed tend to get the shortcuts that they're after and get the outcomes that they really want. So I want to talk a little bit about who the right fit is and who the wrong fit is. Right fit for seven-figure agency coaching and mentorship. You got to be an established agency. This is not a startup group. It's not for beginners. You have to have some understanding of how to run digital marketing, how to do websites and SEO and pay-per-click. You've sold these services before, and you're committed. You're committed to making more money and having more freedom and having a bigger life. You're also very abundance-minded, and this isn't everybody, but you know, an abundance-minded person says, you know, there might be some other people in my niche, but I think there's enough opportunity for all of us. I know that a rising tide raises all boats, and I'm happy to cheer that person on, even if they're my potential competition. I'm also happy to share what's working for me, right? All of the members that you're going to meet in seven-figure agency have this abundance mindset, and they share things that you're just like, wow, this is amazing stuff. And we wouldn't get that if the community wasn't that way. So I think that's kind of a description of what a right fit for this is. Again, established agency, has it together, committed to going to the next level, and excited to kind of share and really give as much as you get out of the program. Some amazing examples of this. You know, I didn't get as much time to share examples as I wanted. Maybe you know some of these guys from the community or from the interviews. Maybe you don't. Tony Ricketts works in landscaping, and he's grown his agency to $250,000 in monthly recurring. When he started in the program, he was about 30K, right? So he wasn't startup, but he wasn't multiple seven figures. And so just really going through this process and being part of this community has been huge. And he's one of these guys that he shares. Hey, here's my SOPs. Here's what's working for me. Here's how I onboard clients. Just an amazing example. Danny Barrera, somebody mentioned, amazing guy, works in decorative concrete, has grown to multiple seven figures. You know, great example of the type of people that are part of this community that are just crushing it. So wrong fit, you know, less than 10K, not a good fit. Not willing to consider the niche model, right? If you're really wanting to be a creative agency that works with everybody, that's okay. It's probably not going to be comfortable for you in the community, because most of the members, if not all, are niche focused with a monthly retainer-based service that are positioning themselves as the go-to expert. And so if you're super resistant to that and you don't see yourself eventually going down the niche path and positioning yourself, probably not a good fit. And if you're very, you know, if you're very closed-minded to sharing, like if you're like, you know what, this is my result and I'm going to hold it to myself, you're not going to like it, because we're always asking for you to share your wins. We're going to tap you on the shoulder and have you share. For some of you guys that are already high seven figures or, you know, mid seven figures, we're going to bring you in. We're going to have you share and kind of share some of your wisdom with the group, because we know we can all learn from each other. But also when you share, you get the ability to have that information sink in, right? Mastery comes from learning a thing, doing a thing, and then sharing it with others. So that's you know, wrong fit. If you're not good for that, it's probably not a good fit. So is that clear? Everybody clear? Kind of like what good fit, wrong fit, who it's for, who it's not for? Just give me a yes in the comments if that seems pretty clear. Awesome. So here's what it is, and kind of here's what's included. There's an amazing training portal. We actually have it on a platform where the content is broken down by landing clients, delivering results, retention, and scale. And last I counted, there's almost 280 different trainings. So there's very specific content on each of these different aspects of growing your business. I don't want to bore you to tears, but I will say, if the thing is landing clients right now, or the thing is positioning yourself, or the thing is, you know, doing your webinars, we give you step-by-step with swipe and deploys for all of that stuff. We also have snapshots if you use high level our snapshot for our entire ultimate agency funnel, our snapshot for onboarding clients and managing clients. We give you all that stuff turnkey, which is really, really it. And so we give you, each of these areas, the entire process. Give me a 1 in the comments if you feel like just having access to the training portal would be useful, would help you get to that goal that you set for yourself faster, would be beneficial as you grow and as you scale. Awesome. Yeah, so we got an amazing training portal for you guys. And again, this growth system, everything is turnkey. Like literally you have everything you need to get this stuff built, to get it installed, to get it running within your business, to more than hit these KPIs and these targets. There's also a super active Facebook group. So I think a lot of you guys are in the free group, the Digital Marketing Agency Success Group, which, there's like 20,000 people in there and we're posting on a daily basis. But it's very broad, right? Our members only Facebook group is only for the agencies that are niche focused, that are paying to be part of this program. And so the community experience that you get in the Facebook group, if you ask a question, you're going to get a bunch of really smart answers in addition to myself and in addition to our members. So super active Facebook group. Again, there's no better mastermind than you can be part of in the agency space. There just isn't, especially if you're niche focused. And I believe you become an average of the 12 people that you hang around with most. So if you don't have a peer group of 7-figure agencies that are doing this, that are living this, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? Again, cumulative revenue in 7-figure agency is over 250 million, and that's growing on a very quick basis. Just being around me, the coaches, the mentors, and the other members, even if you didn't do any of the training, even if you didn't plug into the coaching calls, is going to elevate your game because you're elevating your community. How many of you think having a world-class peer group and just knowing that you've got these people as peers and you've got access to them is going to be helpful? Alex is definitely, give me a yes in the comments. We should all be saying yes to this. We should all be looking to level up our peer group. The next is help, right? Because I really think you want a plan, you want tools, and you want help, right? And when I say a plan, all of us are coming at this from different places. All of us have different raw materials. And what we want to make sure is we don't just throw you into a member community and say, hey, there's a bunch of training in there, go figure it out, right? We want to meet you where you're at and say, okay, where are you at right now? What's the goal? What's the bottleneck? Where are you stuck today? And help you build a 90-day action plan to say, all right, here's what you need to focus on. Here's the trainings you need to go through and keep you in a state of momentum. And so you're going to be assigned a dedicated coach that meets with you on a quarterly frequency, that's available to answer your questions in addition to myself, in addition to the community, but somebody that's working with you directly, one-to-one, to help you build that plan and have the accountability behind it. How many of you think it would be like, this would be probably one of the most beneficial things for you right now? Give me a 1 if having a dedicated coach that's ahead of you, that's done this, that can help build that plan, help build your focus, and keep you moving forward. Got some ones coming in. And our coaches are awesome. And I think one of the most distinctive things about 7-figure agency and the way that we've structured it is all of our coaches are 7 figures and they follow the 7-figure agency path. So we didn't just hire somebody that read a book on how to be a coach. We literally took successful agencies that are part of our program and said, hey, here's an opportunity. Do you want to coach our members? And so you get access to these members. You'll be assigned a dedicated coach in a similar niche that's ahead of you. Quarterly won't be helpful. It's super helpful because you've got daily sessions you can plug into. You've got ongoing support. But the big picture planning is really what moves things forward. So you've got access to as much frequency as you want, but at a minimum, we're going to do this 90-day game plan process with you. And then we've got specialty coaches as well. So within each of the different areas of growing your business, sometimes you're like, I need operations support, right? I'm already doing well, but we got to dial in our high level, or we got to dial in our SEO process. We're going to dial in the paid search because that's impacting our attention. Lynn is just an amazing specialty coach. Productivity and Facebook ads. We've got specialty coaches that run sessions that are available for one-to-one meetings to kind of keep you laser focused and to get that stuff done. And then we've got great member mentors to support you. So that's the help piece. You're going to get a community, but you're also going to get really dedicated support, dedicated help to keep you moving, to keep you taking action, to keep you getting things done. We get together often throughout the month. You don't have to do all of it, but one of the things we do is at the first Monday of every month, we come together as a community and we do a mentor mastermind. And this is where you're broken out into a group of 7 or 8 other agencies of similar size, and you get to hot seat yourself. Hey, here's where I'm stuck. Here's where I need some help, and you can get that feedback. This is a monthly rhythm to keep you focused on the goal, to keep you moving forward, and to keep you in momentum. And then we've got sessions all throughout the week. So I think, and that said, quarterly is not enough. For some of us, it's not. For others of us, we're busy, right? We can't meet with somebody every week. But every Monday at 10, there's a win the week session, which is just to help you get clear, like, where am I at right now? What are the main things I need to get done this week to keep ourselves excited and momentum? Every Wednesday, there's a breakthrough session. And what's cool is this breakthrough session is for you, but it's also for your team. Like, as you grow, you're not going to have time to be involved in the day-to-day on the operations and the SEO and the account management. So every Wednesday at 1, all of those specialty coaches are there and we break out. So if like, man, I'm not getting enough appointments right now, you break out and you sit with Jody or one of the other coaches to talk specifically about that. And if you've got a salesperson, you can send them to the sales training, or you can send them to the operations group. And so this keeps a place for you to plug in and break through whatever the barrier is every single week. Thursdays, we do skill sessions. This will be a deep dive workshop on some particular aspect of your agency, and then open Q&A on Fridays. So lots of support to get as much help or as little help as you want on an ongoing basis. And then for a lot of us at higher levels in the business, the most powerful thing is the community and the live events. And so as part of the membership, we get together 3 times per year in Miami, Florida. We spend 2 days going deep on landing clients, delivery results, retention, scale. We break bread, we hang out, we mastermind, and we get ourselves completely re-energized and refocused. If you've seen the pictures and you kind of see it's a fun experience that re-inspires you. I think if there's one thing I can point to that probably has had the biggest impact on the success of our membership and our community, it's these live intensives that we all come together 3 times per year. So high enough level, I mean, I could go value stack all of this stuff, but high enough level, that's what it is. Anybody now like feels like this is the right for you? Like you're like, this seems like a really good fit. I think I could benefit from this. I think this can help me hit the goals and targets. Just give me a yes in the comments if you feel like this would probably be a good fit. Eric, Scott, amazing. Okay, cool. I appreciate that feedback. So I just want to share real quick. Hopefully you'll be able to hear this. Let's see. This is Kelsey and Jen from Lift Auto Repair Marketing. They've grown to multiple 7 figures. Let's see if I play this, if it comes out.
I am Jen Outram. This
Can you hear
is
that?
Kelsey
We're
Outram. We run Lift Auto Repair Marketing, and we are niche to auto repair shops.
In terms of our niche agency, we were honestly at 0. We didn't have a niche agency. It was a general marketing agency, doing a little over 10K a month. And then now, in current time, we just closed February about around 110K in MRR for auto.
Before joining 7-figure agency, we were struggling with getting new clients. We didn't know who to go after because we weren't in a certain niche at all. So when we joined 7-figure agency, it was nice to have a clear path of having a niche and then going after those clients in that niche. And joining 7-figure agency helped that and helped us gain new clients and be able to scale.
Well, in terms of life now, obviously with more financial means, it's a lot more time flexibility and we're able to go on a lot more vacations with our children. And we're actually moving closer to our extended family as well. So yeah, having all these additional means makes things a lot easier for us.
Wow, there's been so many things that we've implemented since joining 7-figure agency. We've implemented webinars, monthly webinars. We've implemented a podcast. We've implemented the Dream 100. We've just done so many things. Like everything that Josh Nelson teaches us, we've implemented. So everything's been helpful and everything's just helped us grow significantly.
I would say to them, stop thinking and just do it. Just take action and take a leap of faith in terms of joining the agency because it definitely changed the whole trajectory of what we thought our marketing business could be.
All right, so this is a good example, right? Kind of like what this is about, the value that you'll get. So price wise, the way this is priced is it's $3,000 per month, and that includes dedicated coach, includes the entire library of content with everything that we teach. It includes the 3 live events per year, so that's included in your monthly fee. It includes everything you need to grow your agency to multiple 7 figures and beyond, in addition to the amazing mastermind. And so, really, some of us, it feels like a lot of money. For others, it's like, you know what, that's a great deal, right? That's fantastic, right? If I'm going to get all of that value, it just makes a lot of sense. The way I like to cost justify this is if we can just help you land 1 client per month, that more than covers the $3,000 per month, right? If 1 client per month, it has an exponential return on investment. How many of you think everything we're giving for you guys at $3,000 per month is a no-brainer, right? Like, you should absolutely take action on this at $3K a month. If you think about all of the agencies that have gone to 7 figures and multiple 7 figures, would it not make sense to buy this at $3,000 per month? I think the answer is yes, absolutely. With that said, this is a live event. This is a live webinar. And so we want to make a no-brainer opportunity for all of you guys so that you can say, you know what? I'm going to take action on this. I'm going to take action now. And this is the last time we're going to give this offer this year. And then the price is going up after that. And so for those of you that take action right now while we're live, you can jump into the program for just $14.97 per month. Again, that includes everything. It includes the coach. It includes the ongoing support. It includes the live events. It includes the masterminding that we're doing. It includes everything you need. So that's the deal. That's as good as it gets. All you have to do is go to 7figureagency.com/order. It looks like Esteban has dropped the link into the chat. Get signed up. I'm really excited because this is a great time to kickstart this relationship together. Whether you're at 7 figures, which I know a lot of you guys are, or you're kind of under, it's a new year. So we can kind of accumulate, like, this is where we're headed, and we can help you and kind of be on this journey with you as you look to make 2024 your best ever in business, which is always the goal, which is always the outcome. So how long does the offer last? I mean, I could create some fake scarcity for you here, but probably we'll keep this offer available for you by between now and the end of the day, right? After that, this is going to go into the 3K mode, which I think at the level of member we're trying to attract, that's the right price, right? That's what this program is worth. Now you'll be locked in at the $14.97 per month going forward. Okay, the question was, yeah, so it's monthly. So you're not locked into a long-term contract. We may be changing that in the future, but as of this moment, it is month to month. As long as you're getting value, awesome. High fives all around. You like the community, you like the coaches, you like the support, you like the fact that you're keeping yourself in a constant state of momentum, you keep paying. If you don't see the value, you can cancel at any time and stop paying for it. So go to 7figureagency.com/order, get yourself registered, get yourself signed